Hello, I'm Ali Marani, General Manager of Data Protection, Compliance, and Privacy. Welcome to Ignite. We have a lot of exciting news to share with you today, so let's get started. Over the past 12 months, we at Microsoft have seen the needs of businesses and employees around the world evolve against a backdrop of geopolitical and economic challenges. Even the workplace has changed, again. Our remote and hybrid lives revealed new challenges to our productivity and our communications, and especially to our data security. We've been working to deliver adaptable solutions which enable optimal collaboration without compromising protection. No matter where you are in the world or where you work, we've got you covered. We know how challenging it is to protect your most important asset, your data, from risk. In the last year, we've continued to innovate on data protection and privacy solutions for our enterprise organizations. The result includes two integrated and very powerful solutions, Microsoft Purview and Microsoft Priva. Today, we'll dive into these two solutions, both of which provide tools to address data protection and data privacy challenges. Now let's talk about our most important partner, you, our customers. We know you're faced with multiple and evolving challenges, from enabling productivity and empowering employees to eliminating exposure gaps in your infrastructure, all while making sure your organization's data is protected from risk across a hybrid work environment. It's a lot to take on. As I speak with customers, there's a question that I'm constantly asked. How can I simplify my data protection strategy? This is where Microsoft Purview shines. You see, in the last 12+ months, we've completely reimagined our data protection and governance products to better fit your needs. We know the most important asset you have within your organization is your data. Data drives insights that help you run your business, deliver a competitive advantage in the marketplace, and empower employees to collaborate and stay productive. It is critical to protect that data at every stage to make sure it doesn't get compromised or fall prey to risky behavior. As you think about protecting that data, you ultimately need to create a defense-in-depth strategy around it. Let's break this down. The first layer of defense is to understand and discover the sensitive data within your organization. You need to know where and what your data is, who's accessing it, how it's being shared and stored, and where it's traveling. To protect you at the first line of defense, we offer Microsoft Purview Information Protection to help you classify and label your data. Considering the amount of data is doubling each year, you need solutions that provide unparalleled visibility into your entire data estate, whether on-premises or multi-cloud. Microsoft Purview offers a single pane of glass, which enables you to view and manage your data from one place, improving your team's efficacy for data protection. The next layer of defense is your data protection strategy is to manage data security risks within your organization. Microsoft Purview Insider Risk Management identifies potential risks and enables security teams to quickly take action. This can be done using insider risk management in tandem with a holistic approach to managing internal risk, bringing together the right people, processes, and training and tools. We recently released the Building a Holistic Insider Risk Management Program report to help organizations think through their insider risk strategy. We found that organizations who approached insider risk holistically were more likely to emphasize user privacy, collaborate with other organizational departments in their approach, and to use positive deterrents like training and feedback loops as part of their data protection strategy. In fact, holistic organizations are twice as likely to say that an integrated security stack is important to addressing insider risk. The third layer of defense again incorporates this integrated, in-depth approach to prevent data loss or unauthorized use of data. Over 85% of organizations do not feel confident they can detect and prevent loss of sensitive data. Microsoft Purview Data Loss Prevention enables a balance between protecting and productivity, ensuring the proper access controls are in place and policies are set to prevent actions like improperly saving, storing, or printing sensitive data. These three components, information protection, insider risk, and DLP, create an integrated and holistic data protection strategy. helping you to keep your organization's data safe wherever it lives. So at every level, at every instance, Microsoft Purview is your one-stop shop to provide data protection across your entire estate. Now, to dig in more on our product news, I'm going to pass it over to my colleague, Rudra Mitra, Corporate Vice President of Product for Compliance and Privacy. Rudy?
Thanks, Aleem. My name is Rudra Mitra, and I'm excited to be here to show you some of the innovations coming out of my team. As Aleem mentioned, we've been on a journey over the last few years building out our data protection stack. We want to provide a left-to-right protection of your data, especially when it comes to productivity. Now, last year, we introduced real-time collaboration on protected documents across our Office 365 apps. But as you know, Microsoft Purview's mission is to help customers protect their entire data estate, and that includes non-Microsoft environments too. My team has been working on extending secure productivity to third-party applications, services, and platforms. And today, I'm excited to announce that we have been working with Adobe in the next part of this journey. Research shows that the PDF file format is very important to our customers. It consistently ranks as one of the most common file types stored in SharePoint Online and OneDrive. And in many cases, PDF files contain sensitive information. Our goal is to deeply integrate our data protection capabilities to fully support the PDF file format. And we're working to achieve this across multiple products, services, and platforms. Today, I want to highlight a new capability that integrates Microsoft Purview information protection natively now within Adobe Acrobat. This integration brings the same classification, labeling, and even protection already available in Office file formats to PDF. To talk more about it, we have Deepak Bhardwaj, Vice President of Product Management for Document Cloud at Adobe, joining us today. Deepak, welcome to Microsoft Ignite.
Thank you, Rudy. It's great to be here.
We're glad you could join us here in Redmond. Let's get right into it. Could you please tell us more about how Adobe thinks about data protection?
Sure. So if you step back, Adobe is all about enabling our customers to serve up great experiences. So these are great customer experiences and great employee experiences. And they're doing this by digitally transforming how they create these experiences using Adobe's products, solutions, and expertise. Now, these organizations are in various stages of their digital transformation journeys. And within Document Cloud, we focus on helping them with transforming their document-centric processes so that we can drive those customer and employee experiences. So we work with them on everything from paper to digital conversion of documents, to new ways of working with digital document content, to new processes and business models enabled by document automation and intelligence. Which then brings us to data protection. So our customers now have their content and data in PDFs. And there are billions of them out there. And more are being created every day. Now, one of the most important assets we have built as a company over the last 40 years is trust. And our customers expect Adobe to help them do the right thing as it relates to security, privacy, and compliance. So we take information protection very seriously and take a proactive approach to building these capabilities into our products so customers can rest assured that they have a trust platform in place and a trusted partner in Adobe as they embark on their digital transformation initiatives.
Thanks, Deepak. That really aligns well with our approach as well. Can you tell us more on how Adobe Acrobat has embraced security and how this integration came to life?
Absolutely. As you alluded to earlier, PDFs are important. In fact, PDF is the world's most popular business document format. Organizations demand best-in-class security, compliance, and information protection for high-value business documents, generally shared as PDFs, to ensure only critical stakeholders can view, manage, and approve those documents. Now, historically, Adobe has provided users the ability to add passwords or use certificates to make sure that sensitive information in these confidential documents, such as partnership agreements, service contracts, purchase orders, they stay secure. Adobe Acrobat and Reader have supported consistent viewing of PDFs protected by Microsoft Purview information protection since 2018. So for Adobe, underlying all of this is our commitment to transparency as well, telling people what we are going to do and how we are going to do it. This empowers customers to make informed choices about whether they want to engage with us. And as they engage with us, we want to bring them along the journey as partners. In fact, our preview program is a critical way we gather feedback from our customers and incorporate it into building new features. So based on the feedback we receive from our customers, as well as your customer-facing teams, we have further enhanced security for organizations that are standardizing on Microsoft Purview information protection, and we have introduced the ability now to apply and edit information protection labels and policies to their PDFs within the desktop version of Acrobat. And as you know, the security of our customers' digital assets is our top priority.
This is great. Can you please share some of the most common use cases you see here?
Absolutely. So we see this as a game-changing and fundamental feature. And we partner closely with many customers. As an example, we have a technology company we are working with that licenses its IP to partners. So typically, an NDA or non-disclosure agreement occurs between the two companies. And these relationships are often confidential, internally as well as externally. So the legal and compliance team at this technology company is tasked with ensuring that these documents are secured in a reliable manner, for which it uses Microsoft Purview information protection. So let's take a look at an example on how this team protects these NDAs with Acrobat, and we'll do it by looking at a demo. Within Adobe Acrobat, Microsoft Purview information protection is accessible within the Protect tool. Jenny, the compliance officer at Altura Technologies, has received a signed NDA from a new partner, Akira Labs. This is a confidential document, and to protect it, Jenny applies a sensitivity label using the Select a Microsoft Sensitivity Label action in Acrobat. The sensitivity label dialog box displays a list of labels already configured in Microsoft Purview Compliance Portal. Hence, it is consistent across Office apps and Acrobat. In addition to access controls, each sensitivity label can include headers, footers, and watermarks to visually indicate the applied label. In this scenario, she selects and applies the confidential research and development sensitivity label. As we can see, this label adds pre-configured protection to the document and applies visual markings in the form of a header, a watermark, and a footer to the document pages. So she now has the appropriate access settings applied to the NDA and can share it with Altura Technologies' R&D department. Now Jenny can update the sensitivity label as well, for which she selects the Update Label action in Acrobat. And again, the list of available labels is shown to her. Here, she can choose one of the predefined permissions or even add custom permissions for a few trusted people. Another example is a leading global investment management company where relationship managers want to protect personally identifiable information, or PII, and highly confidential client data in documents such as client reports and account statements. Now, during our preview program, we worked with over 75 customers, including a major sports apparel manufacturer, an independent agency of US government, and really helped them address their needs for protecting sensitive PDFs, leveraging Microsoft Purview information protection. We are excited about this technology and what it can do for our joint customers, especially in regulated industries like public sector, healthcare, financial services, and working with individuals in functions such as legal, finance, and procurement.
Wow, this is exciting. What more can customers expect?
So we recently bundled information protection plugin with the default Acrobat installer. So users no longer need a separate plugin to access information protection capabilities in Acrobat. And now we are adding the ability to apply and edit Microsoft sensitivity labels for PDFs natively in the Acrobat desktop version. Over the next few months, you will see new features to enhance the support for information protection for PDFs in Acrobat Office add-ins, as well as Acrobat export tools, and other surfaces, including mobile and web. We are excited to continue to evolve product features to protect the integrity of PDF content in partnership with Microsoft.
This is really exciting stuff, Deepak. Thank you for being here today and for Adobe's continued partnership. To read more about this news, please visit our blog at the link on the screen. Continuing on the theme of how to build an effective data protection strategy, I wanted to talk to you about two of our products that are top of mind for a lot of our customers. We have a handful of exciting new capabilities in both information protection and data loss prevention, which you can now see on the screen. We will have on-demand sessions for each of these areas, and I encourage you to attend and learn more about these features in depth. We also have two quick go-dos for you today. Check out the Data Explorer in Information Protection to get a view of the data inventory within your environment. And secondly, deploy DLP for your endpoint devices. There's no agents that are needed, and it's built right into Windows 10 and Windows 11. Now, I will pass it over to Aaron on my team, who will talk to you more about the insider risk management capabilities we have to show you today.
Thank you, Rudy. I'm super excited to be here today to share a bit about what our team has been working on for Microsoft Purview Insider Risk Management, which is Microsoft's solution to help organizations identify and take action on insider risks, such as data theft by departing employees and confidential data leaks. When thinking about protecting your data and managing risks, it's important to understand the patterns and risks at your organization. For example, what does normal activity look like? What types of activity might be potentially risky? Understanding your data landscape can help you take a focused approach to addressing insider risks. In Insider Risk Management, you can start to understand your organization's data landscape with an analytics report. This is a powerful tool that, with a simple click of a button, allows you to generate aggregated and anonymized insights on potentially risky activity that may lead to a data security incident in your organization, all within 48 hours before you've even set up your first policy. In this report, you can see some of the insights that are produced, like the percent of users at your organization who have performed exfiltration activities. If you click into the details, you can see an additional breakdown with insights by activity type. These insights not only help you understand the potential insider risks in your data estate, but also help you set up policies that meet the unique needs of your organization. We also recently announced the new one-step policy creation option. From directly within this Analytics Insights page, you can click Get Started, and in a couple of clicks, you can set up an insider risk management policy to quickly and seamlessly start detecting potentially risky activity and generating alerts for your security team to review. Once the alerts are generated, they'll be shown in the Alerts page. And you'll notice that all of the names in the alerts are pseudo-anonymized. By default, pseudo-anonymization is turned on in Insider Risk Management, so you can't see usernames. This really helps you take a privacy-first approach. If we click into an alert, we can see a summary of all of the risk factors for the alert. In the User Activity tab, we see that this user has a sequence detected. What sequences allow you to do is correlate across activities that are related because they involve the same files, and this correlation can help your security teams understand possible intent behind the activities so you can reduce the time to take action on the risk. For example, for this particular user, we see that right before they submitted their resignation, they downloaded confidential files from SharePoint Online, renamed these files to obfuscate the sensitivity, but then proceeded to exfiltrate the files and delete them from their device to cover their tracks. You see how understanding the sequence of activities can help your security teams better understand the user context and decide how to take action. Today, we're excited to announce that you can actually use sequences as triggers for your policies. This improves the signal of your alerts because you can focus policy detection on users who have performed these multiple stage sequences. We're also excited to announce priority content only scoring. With this feature, you can specifically focus your policy detection on activity involving the most sensitive content at your organization. For example, you can set up a policy that focuses detection on activity involving content for a top secret project. You can select this priority content only scoring option when you configure your policy in the policy wizard. We're excited about these new features. You can learn more on our blog at the link on your screen, aka.ms/insider risk blog. And if you want to get started now, turn on analytics in Insider Risk Management to get day zero insights on how your data is being used and accessed in your organization. Back to you, Aleem.
Thanks, Aaron. The team just shared the approach to a data protection strategy, which is built on classifying data, preventing data loss, and managing insider risks. All of these will give you a solid foundation for establishing good data privacy practices. We believe that data privacy and data protection go hand in hand. And according to Gartner, by the end of 2024, 3/4 of the world's population will have its personal data covered by modern privacy regulations. So last year, in response to the increase of data privacy regulations, we launched a new portfolio of privacy solutions, Microsoft Priva. Microsoft Priva helps you take a proactive stand to manage critical and common privacy risks, like data hoarding, cross-border data transfers, and respecting privacy rights, so you can prevent privacy incidents from happening and build trust with your customers. We have Tina here today to introduce you to some of our key capabilities with Microsoft Priva.
Thanks, Alim. I'm excited to introduce you to Microsoft Priva today. As Alim mentioned, more countries passed modern GDPR-like regulations. Not only that, consumers are demanding better controls over their data within an increasing number of complaints to data protection authorities. This is why organizations need to move from a compliance-driven approach toward a more human-centric one when it comes to managing privacy. Microsoft recently commissioned human-centered privacy research with professionals from University of Washington, Colorado State University, and National Louis University, analyzing over 400,000 social media posts and surveyed hundreds of consumers and professionals to understand what triggered privacy vulnerability and why investing in a privacy-resilient workplace is imperative to establish trust. You can download the white paper at the link on your screen, aka.ms/data privacy research. To help you build a privacy-resilient workplace, Microsoft Priva currently offers 2 products, Privacy Risk Management and Subject Rights Request. First, Privacy Risk Management helps companies identify and protect against privacy risk and empower information workers to make smart data handling decisions. For example, John here is an information worker who saves some personal data in Microsoft 365. It can be challenging for John to adhere to the data minimization principle outlined by the modern privacy law, which means to manually keep track of the personal data he stores and identify the one that no longer needs to be retained. With Microsoft Priva, privacy admin can configure a data minimization policy, which then automatically triggers an email to the data owner, John, so he can review them and delete the file that no longer serves its purpose right from the Outlook experience. Additionally, to help organizations manage cross-border data transfer, we will soon roll out the feature that allows admin to define the boundaries of transfer you want to govern using Azure Active Directory attributes. For example, when Bob from the US subsidiary tries to send personal data to Sam in the Germany subsidiary, the message can be automatically blocked with option to override the policy. Next, the subject rights request capability helps organizations manage requests at scale and respond with confidence. We recently introduced a few common templates that help admins create requests with recommended configurations. For example, admins can easily create a data export request for a former employee in a minute or 2. Once the data is collected, admins can review files in their native view and can see flag items that contain commingled personal data or confidential information. Then, in this example, admin can redact others' personal data to avoid data leakage. With a new update, admins can now import files outside of Microsoft 365 to leverage this powerful review experience. These are just a couple of the highlights that Microsoft Priva has to offer. I invite you to learn more about Microsoft Priva or to try it for free by visiting our blog on the link showing up on the screen, aka.ms/Priva blog. Rudy, back to you.
Thanks, Tina, and thanks to the whole team for showing us all these new features across our product stack. I'd be remiss to not talk to you today about some of the exciting capabilities we have coming up on the roadmap. For Microsoft Purview, you will start to see integrations across Microsoft 365 and Azure to help increase visibility of your data and easily automate data classification. For Microsoft Priva, you will begin to see more multi-cloud privacy management capabilities that help you automate privacy controls and strengthen your privacy program. These past few years have been especially trying for all of us. But even in these times, which have been perhaps the most difficult in a generation, we've seen some positives. We've each adapted to a modern workplace that not only facilitates remote collaboration, but that also makes it safe. I'm very pleased and proud to not only be part of this revolution in our history, but also proud to work with Microsoft and with all of you to make the world and our workplace safer. Before we close out, please be sure to attend our 3 Microsoft Purview on-demand sessions, which you can see here on the screen. Additionally, here are a few more resources for you, which capture highlights from today's session, including a free trial, so you can get started today. Thank you all for your time today, and please enjoy the rest of Ignite.